Hello, my name is Nthabiseng Mamabolo and I am the Connect Board Mastery Head. I'm also the co-founder of A Seat at the Table. And the question I'm unpacking today is, why is board mastery such an important aspect for young leaders to have today? And the answer to that is simple. Young leaders are continually taking up more and more leadership positions much earlier in their careers. And so it becomes important that that lack of readiness and preparation is filled, and the gap is filled as well. So board mastery becomes pivotal and important, particularly because it provides that mentorship, that safe space to ask these questions, a simulation, if you will, so that questions of understanding critical matters like governance, sustainability, strategic objectives can be discussed at a very safe level. And that is why we're so passionate at Seat at the Table to deliver this Connect Board Mastery. What gap is the Connect Board Mastering filling in the current South African landscape? What we've observed from the participants that have joined the cohort since January of this year is that it's really a mixture of individuals young, serving in current boards, and others who are being approached to serve in these boards. And there is a gap in terms of understanding what are my requirements in order for me to say yes to such a request. Young leaders are coming up with more innovative ways of problem solving and dealing with complex situations in the workplace. And so they're really wanting to find a safe environment where they can unpack, I've been approached, I need to serve on a board, or I want to serve on a board. What are the considerations that I should have before I do? What are the risk consequences if I do not deliver in my fiduciary responsibility? And because everybody is not studying your Companies Act and your King and all the relevant legislation and guidance documents to assist in this landscape, it becomes important for organizations like ourselves to bridge that gap. And that is why it's so pivotal in this time that we stand up to bridge that gap for our communities. What makes the Board Mastery Program so unique is that we are hearing firsthand from individuals that are serving at some of the most influential organizations in our country. We've heard from the likes of Puti, who is the current CEO of NASPERS, the largest organization serving in the JSE or by market share. We have heard from individuals that are serving in investment entities and in ESCOM, some of our state-owned entities. And they are coming and giving us an in-depth understanding of what are the challenges they face, how have they navigated some of those complex situations that they faced, as well as decisions that they've had to make. You know, this morning we had, for example, Peter, who owns a law firm, speak to us about the fact that as a director, you do need to make a decision. It's either you vote for or you vote against, but don't not make a decision. Those are powerful lessons to learn at a young age, so that from a governance perspective, especially with the new entrance of King 5, and also the changing landscape, like the changes we've seen in the Companies Act, that we as young leaders are cognizant and are changing our mindset and thinking, especially on the back of digital transformation that we are seeing, and how we can be a part of ensuring that despite the evolving landscape, we are continuing to be relevant. How does this program change a young leader into a professional ready to serve on the board? From the multitude of case studies that we explore and the different dynamics that can be seen in the boardroom, from the characteristics, the behavior, as well as the kind of decisions that can be expected of you and the speed at which those decisions can be made, young leaders through this board mastery program are as a result forced into that boardroom before they enter the boardroom to navigate those complexities and really think about, how would I respond? Am I aware? Am I self-aware of my actions, my response? Am I reading my board packs? Do I understand my board packs? What are the questions that I need to pose? And to make sure that they continually challenge what is presented to them. One of the things I really enjoyed thoroughly about this program is that we dig into the dynamics of the boardroom, and we use multiple case studies to explore how those dynamics can unpack in a real life boardroom. We've heard from the chair of the PIC, Mem Trifosa Ramano herself, and she has seen firsthand how these dynamics can influence decision making in the boardroom if they are not addressed and handled, particularly in your role as a chair, for instance. So this program, when you leave, you definitely do not leave the same way that you came in. So what does the future look like for board representation in South Africa? It is definitely young. It is definitely dynamic. It's challenging the status quo. It's asking relevant questions. And that's what we've seen from cohort 1 to 4 in this year of 2025. We're not, as young leaders, going to not occupy that seat at the table because we are not ready, but rather we're going to address it up front, firsthand. What are the challenges and the questions we need to ask to understand how do we become instrumental in policy-making decisions that govern our country, in the sustainability questions that are currently top of mind as it relates to how we are consuming our natural resources. We as young leaders have a very powerful voice to bring to the table. So my response to that question is, what do I see the future of young leaders as it relates to the boardroom? Make space, we're coming. Thank you.